Hi everybody, it's Laura Susan Johnson with Period Pieces. Playing it cool stars Chris Evans and Michelle Monaghan, and along with a really good supporting cast. A lot of people gave this negative reviews. There were comments about stalkerism, Chris Evans being a stalker or a psychopath or something like that, and I just didn't see that. I saw a very troubled, flawed man who has pretty much become cynical about romance or love. And I saw a female character, the female lead, being very insecure and very unsure of herself. And her character does a lot of cheating on her. I guess, I'm not sure if he's a long time romance that she's been in or not very long, but she proclaims him to be the most stable thing in her life. And he's played by Welsh actor Ioan Grufudd. I don't know if I'm pronouncing his name at all, doing it justice, but he's from Wales and it's very hard to pronounce. Evans and Monaghan's characters are not named in the movie that I can see. Even in the ending credits, you don't see names, actual names being given to them. Not even Grufudd's. His name is Stuffy throughout the movie, and you don't really get a real name from him either. He's being called Stuffy because Evans sees him as a stuffy snob. But that's actually not an accurate portrayal because you don't get a real accurate look at him. You just get this viewpoint from Evans, and while I like the Evans character quite a lot, it's just basically his viewpoint, but at the same time, Monaghan's character really doesn't go out of her way to give you much of an insight into him either, Stuffy. So anyway, you also have Topher Grace, who I did not recognize throughout the film until the ending credits, as Scott, who is gay and is wishing that I don't know if he's a coffee shop worker or a bookstore worker, to be honest with you. I know that they meet at a bookstore, I think, and they talk a lot about romance movies, and they don't see eye to eye on the most romantic movie of all time. I liked Topher Grace's character a lot. I liked most of the supporting cast quite a bit. Aubrey Plaza's character she's just that quirky, kind of dark, intellectual female that you put in a supporting, but I would have liked to have seen, it would have been really a cool surprise to see her be the one that ends up being maybe like the best friend that he didn't realize he loved or something, instead of, Monaghan. Martin Starr was I don't know if he was homeless or not, but he seems to live in his van, and he picks up, older ladies, I should say. I don't want to say older chicks, but older ladies, and Beverly D'Angelo makes a brief kind of a cameo as one of these older, hot, sexy cougar ladies. And Anthony Mackie has kind of a smallish role as this lead nameless guy's agent, who gets him a job writing a romantic comedy script. Nameless lead guy's job as a screenwriter, and basically the story does take place in Hollywood. The one annoying character is the bitter, older, married guy. He seems older than the rest of the guys in the cast, and he probably is. I think his wife has a brief few seconds or minutes on screen, but I barely noticed her because Luke Wilson, the actor that plays the bitter, jaded older guy who's married. Just, he's unhappy. Philip Baker Hall, the great veteran actor, portrayed the lead character's grandpa, and he raised the lead character from when he was a very small child. And that's when you get the insight into the lead character. His mother left his mother just left and then later died. She left him. I don't know what happened to his actual dad. But his granddad ended up being the one to raise him. And he did a pretty good job. I mean, the lead character has his problems. His mother basically is the one who, unfortunately, seems to have instilled in him by her leaving, abandoning him at such a young age, that love is a load of shit, basically. And there's no such thing as romantic love or any kind of true love in your life. You just basically go through a series of miserable relationships and then you die. And his granddad kind of is trying to teach him, if you're in love with somebody, you need to go after them and not give up. Now, let's look at it from two different sides. If a woman says no, and her reactions are consistently negative to your attentions, and she's not, kissing you back, she's pushing you away and saying, no, get away from me, that means no. But if she's kissing you back, if she's not pushing you away, if she's taking you to her house and having sex with you, and no matter what she acts like the next morning, if she's taking you to her house after a, coffee date and actually pulling your jeans down and, pushing you on the bed, that's what happens in this movie. She never screams no. She never says, you're a psycho stalker, leave me alone. Her language is always, I gotta go now, and he lets her go. He doesn't follow her in the street like at a block's length like a real creeper. He doesn't do any stuff like that. Now, if he had done stuff like that, I would think, yeah, that's a guy who's got some major problems and he needs to be, watched by the cops. I would have said lots of stuff if I'd have seen that on the screen. He goes to her apartment. Now, if she felt at least a bit threatened by him, she would have called the police. She's old enough to know what's what, I think. Give her a little credit. She's not, she is a blundered human being just like he is. She screws around on her fiancé. But that's because she doesn't even know if she loves the guy. She just doesn't know what she wants in life, and that's why she makes the mistakes she does. And the lead guy character, he has a lot of blunders and flaws in his life. He's not perfect. I'm not saying that either. I'm just saying look at it from both sides. Don't call him the creepy weirdo, because her reactions to him are certainly not, get away from me, you creep me out, you make me very nervous and uncomfortable. No, she never responds to him in any way except the next day after the sex. She shoves him out of her apartment and says, "This, we shouldn't have done this." And, at the end of the movie, she says, "This is a mistake, we're horrible together, I'll probably cheat on you. And you couldn't commit to nothing if you tried. I can tell by looking at you." And he's like, hey, you may be right, because we're both a couple of freak shows, but let's just try. Let's try. If we end up hurt, I guess that must be part of the reality of life on this planet. Everybody seems to be in love with somebody who's not in love with them. The lead male is in love with a female who's already taken, and then you've got Aubrey Plaza, who is in love with the lead female, and when she finally tells him, he just gets all upset, and just leaves in a freak out. He freaks out on her and he leaves, and she goes, "That's why I didn't tell you." You've got the gay guy, Scott, who is in love with this guy who doesn't really get the hint. You wonder if, what is his name? Lyle, who lives in his van. You wonder if the extent of his quote-unquote love life is picking up, hot older women and just kind of having little, distractions with them. You got Grandpa, who, even though he's getting old, he's had a happy life, a satisfying life, because he got the joy of raising his grandson. And he seemed like I could see a little bit of joy in his eyes. And it was quite a warm performance from Philip Baker Hall. He wanted his grandson to be happy, ultimately, as happy as he had been in his life. I really appreciated Philip Baker Hall's presence in the movie, because it was just kind of a slice of heaven in this little pie, because it just sort of rounded out the whole experience. The vignettes are amazing. I mean, the movie starts off as kind of like this, what is this movie going to be about? Is this going to be good or is this going to be bad? The different storytelling, there's all these different little stories that people are telling about their experiences in love, or just stories that they saw or saw on TV. And there's one about the grandpa, and it seems to transform into comic book style animation, which was really amazing. And it was really, really stylish and amazing to look at. And then there was a Korean, I think it was a Korean soap opera, or just a Korean movie. And suddenly Chris Evans and Michelle Monaghan were in kimonos, whatever they wear in Korea that's equal to the kimono. And they were in this beautiful Asian makeup. And they both looked beautiful. It was really fun to watch. It was just a nice experience. I liked the movie. I liked the character.